Welcome back to the weekly recap show for Trailblazer Athletics. I'm Dan Wohler here with Assistant Athletic Director Jeff Polari. Jeff, how are you doing this Monday?
Good, Dan. How are you?
I'm fabulous, thank you. So for the recap show, let's begin with men's basketball, losing an unfortunate game to Bridgewater State on Saturday.
Yeah, unfortunately, their season came to an end on Saturday. It was a must-win game for MCLA. Fell short against Bridgewater. Ended up in a tie for 7th place in the conference, and we lost out on a tiebreaker to Framingham State for a playoff bid. So that was unfortunate. The game did feature a couple of good performances from two outgoing seniors, Khalil Paul and Paul Maurice. Both had great games to kind of close out their careers, so that was nice to see. But ultimately, some tough losses throughout the course of the season really did them in.
Right, and then we'll move on to women's basketball, also a loss to Bridgewater State at home on Saturday.
Yeah, you know, it was a very competitive game for the first half, and then the Bears kind of ran away from us in the second half a little bit. Bridgewater's going to be a tough team in next week's upcoming conference tournament for sure. But MCLA was already assured of a playoff bid, which was great to see. And in that game against Bridgewater, Kayla Hodling had another good performance. She really had a great first half. Was kind of neutralized a little bit in the second half, but so hopefully that'll bode well and move forward. The MCLA basketball team on the women's side will be the 4th seed and will be hosting a game next week in the playoffs, so that's good to see as well. And
so Saturday that was the last regular season game at home for the Trailblazers, so that means senior day. So on the women's side, they'll say goodbye to Emily Castle, and on the men's side, as you mentioned, saying goodbye to co-captains Khalil Paul and Paul Maurice.
Yeah, senior day always seems to have a little different feel for basketball programs. I don't know if that's just ingrained throughout high school and whatnot, but it always has a special place. We were able to honor Emily Castle prior to the women's game, a senior, a 2-year player for us who came in and had a little larger role as a junior, but certainly will be missed. And then prior to the men's game, Khalil Paul, a 2-year player, and Paul Maurice, a 4-year player. Like I said, it's just great to see the families come out in support of those players, and they will certainly be missed. Paul Maurice, unfortunately, came up just shy of his 1,000th point, but he had a very good career. Was a member, was the Rookie of the Year in the league, and was also a member of the MASCAC finalist team during his freshman season. So nice to send them off with the proper showing.
Right, and now we'll go to Jesse Kongs, who had a chance to talk with all 3 seniors.
Yeah, guys, I'm here at Senior Day. Now, Senior Day is a day where we celebrate the contributions the seniors have made to the basketball program and celebrate their careers as well. Here for the women's team, we have senior Emily Castle, and then later for the men's game, we have seniors Khalil Paul and Paul Maurice.
Senior Emily Castle reflected on a favorite memory she had from her senior season.
Probably the big win over Norwich that we had the other day. I mean, last year they were a wicked good team, and we got a good win last game, so that would be my favorite.
Castle spoke on missing the camaraderie of the Trailblazers.
Definitely the team. Like, we're all good friends. We hang out when we're outside of basketball, so definitely the girls I'm going to miss the most.
Castle discussed continuing her education after graduating this spring.
Just establish a career, probably go take a year off and then go get my master's in social work. So.
Senior Khalil Paul spoke about his ambitions after college.
Probably try and be a state trooper, be a cop or some sort, and something like that.
Paul remembered his favorite single-game memory from playing with the Trailblazers.
I have to say WPI game, I had my career high, 36 points, played well there, ranked, so I thought that was the best experience, and meeting all these guys. So.
Paul discussed what he will miss most about playing basketball for the Trailblazers.
Just being able to get dressed every day to play basketball, that's it. Basketball has been everything, so for it to come to an end, it's crazy.
Senior guard Paul Maurice, a 4-year player for the Trailblazers, reflected on his entire career at MCLA.
I would have to say my freshman year when I won Rookie of the Year and we went all the way to the conference finals, but we ended up losing. So, yeah, I think that's my most memorable moment.
Maurice lamented on what he'll look back on when he thinks about playing for the Trailblazers.
Basically, just lacing them up every day. I mean, it's going to come to an end, but, I mean, I shared a lot of memories with the guys here, and I will miss that. Yeah.
Maurice also talked about not giving up on his basketball dream after playing for MCLA.
I haven't really decided yet, but it will be basketball related, I should say.
So do you want to get into coaching or?
I don't know, maybe coaching, maybe try to play professionally. Who knows? But I just gotta stay healthy.
So senior day is an important day for the team and a notable day for these seniors who are playing their last home games for the Trailblazers.
Thank you, Jesse, and welcome once again back inside the TV studios. We're now joined by head women's basketball coach Holly McGovern. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me today, Jeff.
Wanted to get some insight into this week's conference playoff, and let's start off by taking a look at the bracket for the 2016 Women's Basketball Championship. Westfield State is the top seed, been kind of on top of the league throughout, and Framingham also earned a bye as the second seed. Just talk very briefly about your thoughts on the entire bracket.
Between the top three teams, Westfield, Framingham, and Bridgewater, they really separated themselves throughout the conference play this year. So clearly Westfield, with their outstanding play this year, they did a nice job forcing teams to a lot of turnovers, scoring a lot of points offensively. It should be an interesting conference tournament, though.
Yeah. And deeper into the bracket, upcoming Tuesday night, tomorrow night, 6 p.m., MCLA as the 4 seed will host Salem State as the 5 seed. Teams split the season series, both winning on each other's home floor. Two really different games, quite frankly. Very low-scoring game here in North Adams in early January. A little higher-scoring, faster pace down in Salem. Let's start with the first game in January. Take us back to that game, 47-41 victory. Give us some thoughts on what you thought was the difference in that game.
Yeah, I remember the first quarter. It was a 9-8 game, and I think 17-17 at halftime. I thought both teams were really just trying to figure each other out. Sam comes through with a 2-3 zone and trying to pressure Kayla a little bit more and allow her and force her into some turnovers. I thought we did a nice job of circulating the ball, taking our time and being efficient with our shots.
Mm-hmm. And then fast forward, go to the February game down at Salem. Again, different pace. MCLA did play a little short-handed. Had a couple of injuries just prior to that game. Played without Ashley Kloss and Braylee Hanlon, who unfortunately is lost for the season. But just talk about that game where we held the lead through 3 quarters and then kind of let it slip away in the 4th.
Yeah, both of the injuries with Ashley and Braylee were significant losses, especially with Braylee's had happened on that Wednesday prior, and then Ashley's was one of those last plays that happens in practice. So we go into the game. Mackenzie Robinson coming off the bench, for her first career start, was averaging 18 to 20 minutes a game, and all of a sudden, was forced into 39 minutes of play. I thought she did a tremendous job. But as we went through that game, we ended up giving up, I think, 31 more points than the previous first game. I think a lot of that was Salem's ability to get on the offensive boards and our inability to get on the floor and get those loose balls.
Right. So this will be the 3rd matchup of the year. Like we said, 2 distinctively different games. Give us something that we may see that we haven't in those first 2 contests heading into tomorrow night.
I don't know if we did a great job in either meeting of being on the ball and pressuring them into more turnovers than we normally have. I thought in the second game they did a good job of passing through our defense, and we have to kind of clamp down. We got to play that 40 minutes. We talk about being focused all the time, but it's focusing on the little things, and adding that pressure is one of those focal points.
Mm-hmm. You just talked about clamping down. Caitlin Bryant from Salem State is probably their top player. She really hurt us in the second matchup, scoring 28 points. What do we need to do to slow her down tomorrow night?
She's a playmaker for them and does a very nice job on the boards also. So the second game, missing Ashley, she's our pinpoint person to go and be that on-ball defender and try and lock people down. We really missed her in the second game. So I'm looking forward to having her back, being able to put her on Brian, hopefully slow down that impact that's on the perimeter so that we can do a better job defensively in the interior.
Right. The second half of the season, Kayla, who you've already mentioned, and Karina Matera have really carried the offensive load. What do you think they need to do to be effective? I'm sure they're going to be the focal point of the Salem State defense tomorrow night. What do they need to do to put yourself in a position to walk away with a victory?
I think both those players are very creative in their own right. Karina has done a fantastic job of being able to hit the perimeter shot, all the while getting into gaps. And because she's getting into those gaps and can finish around the basket, opposing teams are having to push over their secondary defender. It's going to free up Kayla for some more looks. So if the two of them can connect early, I think it's going to open up the perimeter for more of our established three-point shooters.
Yeah. And again, some of the key statistics from the first 2 meetings, the one that I noticed was the rebounding the rebounding differential on both sides. When we earned the victory here in January, we out-rebounded them by double digits, and when they earned the victory in February, they out-rebounded us by double digits. Give us the one key thing as a coach that you're really focused on that you think MCLA has to control in order to win tomorrow night.
It's just having an understanding of when our teammates are taking our shots, when we should be crashing the boards. I think we've got a pretty good rotation defensively, and we just have to be on the weak side, be prepared to get in position early, maybe get some easy points.
Yeah. So there you have it, fans. Tomorrow night, 6 o'clock in the Amsler Campus Center Gymnasium, 4th-seeded MCLA will host the 5th-seeded Salem State University Vikings. And fans, for everything MCLA athletics, please log on to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Have a great day, and we look forward to tomorrow night. Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you very much, Jeff.